this Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid that I currently drive, revisited as a holiday car. So I just drove 2,100 kilometers plus with this car on a holiday trip. I was with my wife, the 2 dogs, and it held up remarkably. So of course I expected it to be faultless in that case in reliability, because Suzuki, and also of a good age. So that was not a problem at all, but also it carried quite a lot of luggage, which I really liked. So all the suitcases and all the other stuff. Also stuff for the dogs, which was a good thing. And it was quite practical, because you still have that 5-door accessibility. Also, if you do release the dogs from the back seats, it's of course a lot easier than with a 3-door configuration. Also, I really liked the white color. So the white color keeps your car a lot cooler than all other cars that I owned, and the temperature was quite hot. And normally, for example, red or black car, you would have very hot times. But this completely white car held up very nicely, even so nice that I'm thinking perhaps I should always get a white car, or at least a white roof, because it's such a benefit, especially in warmer weather. So it also relates that you don't need to use the airco that much, and that you can have more comfort once you get in the car already. Especially for the dogs, you have to secure them, and then if the car is not that excessively hot, there's a benefit, of course. Another thing that was very remarkable is that on the city highways, the car also, which is lowered, so 35mm lowered at front and back, was very nice. But sometimes if there were tram lines, so the tram or the other transportation, or they have in Italy, but also in other countries that we were passing through, sometimes roads that are subpar, that feels quite jittery, the lowered suspension. So that's something to take into consideration. The benefit, I think, is that you have enormous stability, and if you have good asphalt, so to say, or the road is of good quality, you will have even more fun. But when you are driving, and especially when your car is quite loaded, because you have all the excess stuff in it, crammed into it, then the weight of the car also becomes higher, of course, and then you will have additional drawbacks of a stiffer suspension. It's also more lowered. So you just have less give in your suspension department. Another thing to consider is that the car is not that big, so it's quite easy to park. Also, you have the rear view camera, and you have the parking sensors, which are obviously a benefit when you're parking. I think that's the most to say. Also, the fuel economy was depending on the road and the condition. Autobahn, of course, it's a lot less frugal, but could be around 6.3 liter per 100 kilometers. You might say, okay, that's quite high. It could be, but it depends on your driving style, I guess, but also on the conditions. If you have to go up and down all the time, that's quite heavy for the car. So you have to accelerate harder upwards, and downwards you have to perhaps even brake instead of rolling out the car, because it goes that fast, and that will just have a detrimental effect on the fuel economy. Also, if the car is loaded to a higher degree, and more weight also is a drawback for fuel economy. But all in all, I'm not disappointed at all. Also, I like the USB stick configuration that you have here, standard in the Suzuki Swift Sport. So you can load up, for example, USB stick with some of your favorite road songs, and just play them all the time. We used one USB stick, and on the entire trip we still had not went through the entirety of all the songs. So that's a nice thing to have on a longer road trip, that you have songs that you can listen to. especially when you're driving for longer distances. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit more pep, so to say, that you have more rhythm that is supporting you and keeping you alert and enjoying it. Also when you're hitting traffic jams, so in Germany you have the Baustelle, so you have normally the unrestricted autobahn oftentimes, but also you have parts that they're working on even at night, or even mostly at night, and that could have an effect on the way that you can proceed. Of course, sometimes you're just standing still for several minutes, or even 50 minutes, half an hour, or driving extremely slowly, because you have to pass those Baustelle, which are like a construction site in German. Another thing that I really liked is that you have a lot of storage capacity in the Suzuki Swift Sport, albeit being a small or super mini, so to say. So it's not the smallest segment, but just one above it. And you have quite a lot of storage capacity, especially for example, drinking bottles, which I really like. And all in all, it was a pleasant adventure. I would recommend Suzuki Swift Sport as a car also for the holiday trips. So yeah, you can consider if you agree with it. Of course, a larger car will give you more comfort, longer wheelbase, and also it will give you more room, so that's a benefit there. Hatchback design, however, of the Suzuki Swift Sport is still very practical, even though it's a smaller car. You can park a smaller car easier, of course. Also, sometimes the fuel economy can be a little bit better than a bigger car, because you have less weight and a less potent engine that you need to feed gasoline. Found my car? Out.